This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of their affiliated organizations.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Ready to Connect. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Lisa, and unfortunately, Heather can't be with us today. But today's topic is
Remote viewing.
that's right, remote viewing. But before we start, Ryan, tell us a little bit about what's been going on in your life, because I haven't been here in a few weeks. I've been in Africa, if that hasn't been talked about, and I just would love to be caught up on what's been happening in your life. What's going on?
Sure, I was going to ask you first, but okay, you're putting me on the spot.
I am.
Well, I have a couple things to share. One thing is, so our band, Waiting for London, we had a song that was chosen to be put into a movie called What We Carry With Us. And it's a local director who put that together. And so it's really exciting. The movie recently premiered. They're hoping to get it out into film festivals as well as streaming services. We're not sure when that will happen, but the song is called "No Place I'd Rather Be," and listeners can find it on anywhere: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, you name it, any audio programs.
I really like the song. It's a catchy tune. I listened to it. Yeah.
Thank you.
And you're the lead singer of that.
Yes. Yeah.
And your cousin Chris plays the bass in that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you.
I'm looking forward to watching the movie when it does come to streaming, whenever that may be. Maybe it's already there. I don't know. We'll find out.
Right. It could be. Yeah. So we're really excited, and we're thankful. We're honored that it was chosen to be in it, and yeah, we can't wait to see it as well.
Now, did you have to submit a song, or did they just find it?
Actually, I saw the director. He was posting in a Facebook group for local musicians, just asking for original music for a film, and so I reached out to him, asked if he was still interested, and showed him our music, and that was the song that they chose. So
that's amazing. See,
yeah,
it just shows you got to just take every opportunity, follow it wherever it may lead, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So once again, we're so honored and excited that it was chosen. So yeah, I can't wait to see it and see what comes of it too.
Now, does Waiting for London, your band, have social media too that people can check out?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we're on Facebook and Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel. And probably by the time this episode airs, we'll have our website back up and running. So you can find us at waitingforlondon.com, which has all of our music and music videos on there as well.
That's amazing.
So,
yeah. Music videos.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I got to check that out.
Yeah.
I've heard your music, but I haven't seen videos. So.
Yes. Yeah, we have music videos on YouTube and our website.
Yeah, and if anybody's interested, how would you explain your music?
It's original pop rock.
Okay.
We like to say it's also modern 90s.
Modern 90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how it's been described in the past.
Okay.
But,
all right.
Yeah, and then the other thing is just a quick story, because I know I've mentioned in the past I'm interested in like coin collecting, and when our grandmother passed away, we found that 6 years ago we found that she was collecting coins as well.
Oh, wow.
She was trying to collect all the state quarters.
Runs in the family.
And, yes, it does. And she had some books, some booklets that she was putting together, and I was able to get one. And there were 2 quarters that she was missing. I knew I had one of them. It was New Mexico. I found that one easily. But then the other one, Idaho, I could not find. So for months, I had my parents looking for an Idaho quarter. Like,
oh, wow.
Like this whole thing. Like my father was checking all of his coins. But then the other day, I just, I got the message, like, Ryan, look in your bank. Like, you probably have it there, like in my own bank. And so I opened it up, and what was interesting is that I forgot I had a white feather in there too, and it was actually on top of the Idaho quarter.
Oh, wow.
That I was looking for. Mm-hmm. And I was like, thank you.
Thank you.
So now the booklet is complete. I feel like my grandmother and I did this together.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
That's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's really cool.
So, but how about you? You had an adventure.
Yeah, so for the first half of September, my husband and I, we joined a group of people that was led by a man named Brian Luke Seward. Luke Seward. Well, he likes to be called the American host. He wasn't our guides through Africa, but he curated the group to go together, and it was a wonderful group of people. And we were in Tanzania. Found out you're supposed to pronounce it Tanzania.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, right. And learned a little. They speak Swahili as well as
Mhm.
English, so we were able to get through. But learned words like jambo means hi, and
Oh.
and Hakuna Matata is really something they say that is not just a Disney phrase. Apparently, Disney appropriated it from Africa. It does
Wow.
mean basically no worries, no problems.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
and so we heard a lot of Jambo, Hakuna Matata, and Poli Poli,
Okay.
which means take your time. So we
Okay.
heard a lot of Hakuna Matata, Poli Poli from, the Africans that were there helping tourists, meaning supposed to have no problems, take your time, it's okay, kind of thing. When you're on vacation, that's kind of what you want to hear. But it was an amazing trip. We were able to visit a sustainable and organic coffee plantation,
Oh, wow.
which they showed us from beginning to end how the coffee beans, how they pick them by hand, what they like,
Mhm.
how they actually take the skins off the beans by hand,
Wow.
and how they do it. I took video. Maybe I can share some video on our Patreon or whatever
Sure.
of the coffee plantation, but just how they would sing as they're doing it, how they would crush the skins off the beans, and then you'd have to toss them so the skins would fall out.
Mm.
Then you take the beans, and how you would roast them by hand in a pot.
Mhm.
I mean, this is how they do it. It's not like some, factory
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
doing this. It's all done by hand. We roasted the beans, and then we would grind them by
Mhm.
hand with these, large mortar pestle things, and
Mhm.
then make the coffee. So we had a cup of coffee from beans that we actually, started from the bush down to into our cup. It was
Wow.
amazing, and the fact that we were able to do that in this village, and by booking that experience with them, they were able to then afford to purchase. I can't remember. It was like some large amount of trees.
Mhm.
I want to say like 300, but it could have been 30. I can't remember. I know there's a 3 in there. To give back to their community village to
Oh, wow,
keep
nice.
growing.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
that's great.
yeah, I just thought that was amazing. Learn from there in that coffee plantation that Tanzania is created by 120 native tribes
Oh, wow.
that all live peacefully together with no issues.
That's incredible.
And one of the tribes, called the Maasai, lives very traditionally, no electricity, no nothing. Sort of like our Amish here, I
Mhm.
guess, in the United States. And we were honored and lucky enough to visit a Maasai village, and we had to be dressed in the appropriate blankets. And for me, I had to wear, women had to wear this sort of necklace that sits, on the chest bone. And we were witness to their welcome dance. And the Maasai is known for the jumping dance. So the men of Maasai, in order to, I think, demonstrate their virility,
Mhm.
jump. And the higher the jumper, I guess, is the more attractive the man.
Wow.
That's what I understand. So they showed us the jumping dance, and
Yeah.
they even had some of the men that were in our group try their luck at jumping.
Nice.
Yeah. It was, and then we got to see their village, their homes,
Mhm.
learn a lot about the Maasai, and the Maasai warriors that you see throughout the countryside. And I mean, that was all before we actually started our viewing of going on safari and
Wow.
seeing these animals, these
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful animals. And it is so true that they look at the safari jeeps that are coming through their area, through the
Mhm.
Serengeti, or we were at Ngorongoro crater.
Mhm.
They don't look at those jeeps as anything more than just another animal.
Oh, wow.
So, and because they're large,
Mhm.
they're never really challenged or attacked,
Hmm.
really. And if you stay in the Jeep, you're safe. If you get
Right.
out of the Jeep, then you're smaller, and any of
Oh.
the predators might target you. So
Right.
you must stay in your Jeep.
Right.
But the Jeep's roof lifts up so you can stand up and look out. You can open the windows. The only time we were told to close the windows is when we came to the entrance of the Ngorongoro Crater Park, where all the guides have to stop. They have to pay their admission, get their permits to go into this protected area. And we were told as we're driving up to the entrance, close the windows, close the windows. So we closed them. We're like, why? What's going on? Like, is a lion going to jump in here? And it goes, no, the baboons. The baboons will come into your Jeep and look for food, steal the food, and run away with it.
Really?
And wouldn't you know, that's exactly what happened. Not to us, but of course, we're sitting here. I'm thinking, close those windows.
Yeah.
But we watched as we got out. We could get out. You have to shut the door, but you shut the door right away. We can get out. The baboons are running all over the place. And we watched one unsuspecting. They were never told to shut their doors. These baboons just ran, like passing through people trying to get out into this Jeep.
Wow.
And ran off with bags of cashews and stuff like that with it in their mouth. And they're all chasing each other. And I have video of it. It's just crazy. So that was pretty cool. But they do come right up close. We were able to see the big five, which are the lion, the Cape buffalo, the leopard, the rhinoceros, what's that, and the elephant. All very close, except for the rhinoceros. We only saw through binoculars, very far away. They're very rare to find. But we did see them. But I have photos of everything, and maybe we can put that up somewhere or share on social media or whatever.
Sure.
Some of the experiences that I had there, or at least some of the really good photos. We were blessed enough to have at least 2 or 3 people that had a professional grade photography equipment, and 2 of the men that were taking photos shared their photos with the whole group.
Wow.
So not only do I have my own, but I have really good ones too,
Yeah.
which is nice.
That's nice.
We were able to see a lot of like rare animals. I caught on video, which I don't think we'll share, but very rare to find mating lions. Found that. Learned all about the honeymoon phase of a male and female lion.
Wow.
Yeah. Learned a lot of stuff. My favorite thing was to see the giraffes. I love them. Love them. They're just very graceful creatures. And I got a kick out of watching ostriches. And I do get video. You have to kind of zoom in, but you could see an ostrich at the very back towards the horizon of Serengeti. And as this mama ostrich is walking, trailing behind her all these little ostrich chicks. It's the cutest thing. Saw a lot of baby animals, baby zebra, baby hippo, baby hyena, a lot of babies. Baby elephants, they're adorable. We had an elephant actually walk right behind one of our Jeeps, rub its butt up against it as it went just across into the trees. And yeah, it was amazing. We went up on a hot air balloon over the Serengeti, which was something I was nervous about, but it was so smooth. And I was worried about that kind of amusement park feel you get in your stomach, with those kind of rides. And no, not at all. Very wonderful experience to have over the Serengeti. And we had as our pilot the first female Turkish balloon pilot.
Oh, wow.
And so she paved the way for other females to become hot air balloon pilots, I guess, in Turkey. So so this particular group of pilots had their business in Africa to do these kind of like balloon tours over the Serengeti. Wow. And I come to find out when you land a hot air balloon, you're supposed to celebrate with champagne. So we had champagne when we landed. It was amazing. And we're literally in the middle of the Serengeti. And one of the places we stayed was a campsite. And, I was telling people, we're going to be in tents in the Serengeti. And in my mind, I'm thinking there's this center lodge or something, and the tents that people stay in are like in a circle around it, so you're kind of all close together. That's not the case.
Oh, really?
No. They have tents. They have a dining tent. They have a tent that's considered your lounge and bar tent. But basically, it's one side is open, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then to get to your place where you tent, you need to walk quite a bit. And we're in the middle of the Serengeti, so animals are all around.
Yeah.
And, I mean, not during the day, but you have to walk to this tent that is like not super, like you wouldn't consider it like safe, I guess. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And this tent that we had was amazing. We had a large bedroom. It had, a flush toilet in it and all that kind of stuff. But if we wanted to leave our tent at night, we had to wave a flashlight and wait for an escort to come get us.
Oh, wow.
We were not allowed to walk around there at night.
Wow.
And I don't sleep a lot or very well anyway, but I remember waking up at different times, and you can hear the animals at night. They come in closer. They come into the camp.
Oh, yeah.
You hear the wildebeest. You hear the zebra. You hear the hyena. You can hear lion. You can hear all these things.
Wow.
And at one point, and I have a video of it, I opened up my tent flap just to look out because it was so loud. And literally our tent's in the middle of a herd of wildebeest that are just grazing.
Wow.
Making their grunting noises and stuff like that. It was a phenomenal experience. I highly recommend it for anyone if you're nervous about doing something over in Africa. I felt very safe, even on the little bush plane that we had to ride, which was quite the experience. It was just an amazing experience. It really was. And to see those animals so close, so up close that you could touch them. Not allowed to, but you could just touch them. And the people were just amazing, amazing people. And the guides that we had were just so knowledgeable. It was just a lot of fun. So that was a long little story about what I've been up to. And then,
it was a good story.
Yeah. And since getting back, it's just back into the same routine of babysitting my grandson and doing the work of Serenity Grove and that kind of stuff. But yeah. So
it sounds like the trip of a lifetime.
I would go back again in a heartbeat. I don't know if I can afford to go back in a heartbeat, but I would go back in a heartbeat. It was money well spent for a vacation and for an experience. Absolutely. Yeah. And they're just things I didn't realize. For some reason, flamingos, I didn't think were from Africa. I don't know why. I thought they were more like, from Florida or something. Kind of stupid on my part, but yeah, interesting. Yeah. But that's what I've been up to. Yeah. But I'm happy to be back. And ready to talk about our topic today on remote viewing. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's
get
get into
tackle it.
Let's get into it. I think what the biggest question is about remote viewing is, what is it?
Yes.
What is it, and what isn't it? Right. So remote viewing it definitely is something that would be considered clairvoyant, but it's not a clairvoyant vision. Remote viewing is I think when we were talking before, you said it perfectly.
Yeah, that and when I did some research on it, I found that some people suggest that remote viewing is more of targeted, like you're targeting someone or a place, whereas clairvoyance is more spontaneous, random.
I like the word spontaneous. With clairvoyant vision, even when we do a reading and we're getting clear, we might be asking for it, and it might be like about something. It comes in very randomly of what you're going to get. Whereas remote viewing, you do it purposely and targeted towards something, for sure.
Purposefully is a good word.
Yeah, there is purpose behind it. I don't know if you know any of the history about remote viewing and the remote viewing program, but it came really about through our government.
That's true.
Remote viewing got its teeth, so to speak, through our government in response to, during the Cold War, in response to the Soviet Union, or reports of the Soviet Union having psychic spies, as it was called. And so, United States being United States, we can't be one-upped. So I think it was back in the 70s.
Yes.
Let's look at my notes. Yeah, 70s, where they decided to create a remote viewing CIA training program. But first they wanted to, and I think it went through Stanford Research Institute. So I think that's what it is. SRI? SRI, yes. And they, the goal, though, of the program was not to create remote viewers. It was to disprove it. It was to sort of say that remote viewing isn't a real thing. It's not a functioning real thing. Because, let's face it, what government defense wants psychic spies to really exist. I mean, you think about that, right? You think about someone being able to see your defense plans or your new, defense weapons and stuff
Right,
like
yeah.
that without even being there. Who wants
Exactly.
that, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it was set up to disprove it, because who wants to really worry about that? So they tasked. Let me find the names, and I don't want to misspeak. 2 physicists with trying to disprove that. Their names were Russell Targ and Harold Putoff. I went and did some research on the history of remote viewing and the program through the government. And so they were supposed to research that phenomena, and they found what they called natural psychics to test them with remote viewing. And the one they found, the first one they found was said to be a scientist, psychic, and artist, and his name was Ingo Swann, and he came from New York City. And basically what they found out in the research was that remote viewing is a real thing.
Right. I find it interesting that they wanted to demonstrate an ability to accurately remote view the weather in various cities. I don't know why I find that so fascinating, but it's just, I guess that's something easy to target rather than, because you have to describe
I think with remote
environment.
viewing, you need to be able to validate it. And it comes from validation. I mean, it's easy to track what weather was, right? But they tested Swann. They found out through their tests that it's a real thing. And I believe it was Swann who was credited with the term remote viewing. And, I particularly am not a remote viewer. It's not something I do, but it is something I know about. I know how it presents to remote viewers, and anybody out there who's our listeners can, YouTube and watch a remote viewer in the process. It's absolutely fascinating. But I think here's another main difference between a psychic vision and a remote viewing. A psychic vision is going to give you a bigger picture, and then you as the clairvoyant has to kind of pick out the details from that.
Right.
Whereas a remote viewer tends to get more ambiguous details. And from all those details, you have to create that bigger, larger picture.
Right.
And I do believe with remote viewing that you need to have somebody at that target place.
Yes.
In order to kind of make that connection.
That makes sense.
I could be wrong with that, but I do believe that's how it works, in that if you were sent, let's say, Ryan, you decided to go to some undisclosed location, and you're sitting there and you're taking in the sights, the sounds, the smells, the hears, whatever. Well, sounds and hears. That's sort of the same. But and me, if I was a remote viewer, then would be trying to connect into that through a deeper meditative state, or just the way you can train yourself to pick up on that energy. I would start to pick up small little details of what you're experiencing.
Right.
So maybe I might hear an animal, or I might hear train tracks or something like that.
And going off of that too, what we said, what we were talking about earlier is it has to be more abstract. They don't want you to just say like, oh, I see, as you said, like a bridge,
right,
over water. They want you to describe it more.
I think you're going to be presented more with like shapes.
Yeah,
I see things that are triangular, but it's sturdy. It's going to be something more like that rather than saying it's a bridge. Right. I see a structure that is upright and strong, and that could be anything from a building to like a stone sculpture.
True.
But you're going to pick up more than just that as a remote viewer. You might pick up the sound of, like I said, maybe pick up a siren or the sound of a bell or whatever. And when you start to kind of put those things together, and you can then kind of narrow down the coordinate of where that's happening.
That's true.
And I think there's a term called coordinate remote viewing, which is more of a targeted thing where you have.
Is that where you would have? Well, yeah,
I believe so.
And then,
yeah.
But it makes sense that would be the target, like the location itself.
Yeah. I I find the whole process very fascinating. There is something that's called the ambiguity principle, whereas if something seems more I'm saying it wrong. Ambiguity principle, ambiguous is something there. I say it right. If something seems more ambiguous, you're probably going along the right track. Which I find it's very different than just a clairvoyant vision.
Yeah.
You know, you can get murky kind of information when you do clairvoyant readings and things like that, but it'll there's going to be some sort of substance to it, whereas remote viewing, I think it's more ambiguous, and you pick up little things, and from those little things you have to create the bigger picture, and you may be right or you may be wrong. And I think I was watching a couple of remote viewers do their work, and they say they shoot for being 60% right. Sometimes they get as much as 80% correct.
Wow.
And you know, that's pretty darn good.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's more than just guessing.
Right.
You know, I did find when I was doing research, and anybody could find this, you could just Google it. The CIA report on their Project Sunstreak, which is the actual training program for remote viewing. And I was looking through it. It's very fascinating. There's different stages of the training, and there's no time limit for how to proceed through the different stages. You go at your pace because everybody's different. But apparently you can teach this to anybody.
Wow.
How to remote view. And
that's really cool.
I was listening to somebody, and they describe it as some people are good at it because they have the propensity for it. It's just like, you know, somebody who is musically inclined. I'm just looking at you, musically inclined. So maybe you play an instrument better than somebody else who could just pick up a guitar and pluck out Twinkle Twinkle on it. You know what I mean? Both can play an instrument, but one's a little bit better at it. So I think it's sort of the same idea. And that does go along with psychic gifts, and that the more you practice them or strengthen them, the better you get at them.
That's true.
But some people just out the gate are a little bit better. They have a propensity for it. I don't know. It was interesting. It was interesting to look at the document and to look at even down to like the notes and scribbles of the scientists who are working on it. I found it really fascinating to go through, and the fact that remote viewing has its history really in government.
Right.
Yeah, I think there was a movie about that too.
Probably.
Yeah.
All I know is I remember seeing an episode of Unsolved Mysteries a long time ago where they had an individual who was remote viewing, trying to find, I forgot, like a prisoner of war type of thing. And they were able to describe the area where this person was being held, and they were able to find them. So that was my first take on remote viewing a long time ago, seeing it on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating to hear the history behind it, and also just to know that anyone can learn it too.
You can learn it. I did see somewhere the name of, let me see if I can find it in my notes, because I, of course, have notes. It's called the International Remote Viewers Association. You can look into that and see what they have, because apparently they do have an annual conference about it. We do have a list of books about remote viewing that maybe we can share up on our social media. If anybody's interested, they can look up some of those books or the names of the people, remote viewers who are a little bit more famous, I guess, in that world. They can look through it, but it's an interesting practice for sure. And I do think that a lot of people feel remote viewers are what's used by, if a police department is going to use a psychic, they might look for a remote viewer to help with that.
That's a good point.
And I think that is true, but I don't think that's just the case.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there are people who are very gifted psychically that help police departments that might not remote view as well, but
that's true.
It can definitely be very helpful. Yeah. I don't know if we have any questions about remote viewing that we could try to answer.
Yeah. Let's see. So a question here is it Well, we kind of already covered this, but with remote viewing, is it that if you're targeting a person, are you seeing it through their eyes, or are you just seeing the environment around them?
That's a very interesting question. I can't totally speak to that, but my initial response would be you're picking up the energetic patterning, but from that person.
Mm-hmm.
That person has to be there to experience the sights, the sounds, and all that for you to get it.
That's true.
That would be how I would approach it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the way it's done. I think you need to have a target. You need to have a target to center into.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, like, even if you were to talk about, psychic spies, in order to see the blueprints of something, you have to see that through someone's eyes.
That's true.
So
that's a good point. Let's see. And then, we already talked about, like, how does someone get into remote viewing? How do they learn it? And then another idea that I came across for just learning it is, even if you can't take an actual program, you could just practice it on your own with a family member or friends, and just have them go somewhere, call them up, or you can
you could
describe
try
a place.
I would say that in order to be good at remote viewing, you have to be somewhat successful with meditation. You have to be able to put yourself in that type of brainwave that could be far-reaching, and meditation can do that. Yeah, and there are training programs out there.
Yes.
Serenity Grove doesn't have a training program for remote viewing. We certainly can help people with clairvoyance in striking that. If we came across somebody in our mentorship or psychic mentorship program that had skill in remote viewing, we can certainly help foster that. But we don't have a training program per se for it. But there are some you can find. Just Google it. To be honest, you're going to find them. Yeah.
That's a good point.
So, yeah. So, we had our questions. You want to pick our affirmation?
Sure.
Let's do that. I do think that when Heather comes back and join us, we should definitely talk with her, because she has done a little work with the police department and get her ideas about the remote viewing. Maybe we could put that up on our Patreon.
Oh, yes.
For our Patreon subscribers.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's see what we get for our affirmations. So mine is, I am an unlimited being accepting from an unlimited source in an unlimited way. I have no limits. Okay. Anything's possible.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mine is, there is more than enough for all of us.
Well, there better be, because I'm unlimited. Yeah.
They work well together.
So thank you for joining us on this episode of Ready to Connect. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Ryan. And until next time, get ready to connect. Thank you for tuning in to Ready to Connect. If you're interested in exclusive behind-the-scenes content, be sure to like, share, and follow us on social media by searching for Ready to Connect Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And for those looking to further support our podcast, consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/readytoconnectpodcast. And until next time, get ready to connect.